you, thank you, thank you. I really, really miss all of you. I'm very sorry that I was late because the plane was delayed due to traffic. Kung may traffic sa isa, may traffic din sa ere. Hindi ilang ikot kaya sa Laguna. Tatlong ikot, Laguna, babalik na naman sa Visayas, tapos balik na naman, tapos hanggang nakalusot din. Okay, this evening's lecture will be focused on one of the most exciting product in the world. It is, give me that whiteboard so that I will give you how exciting it is because I will go directly into the core of the molecule of which the product is made of. Our product is actually positioned in the market as number one, is a very important molecule for cardiovascular molecule. So this is a very important molecule, cardiovascular molecule. It is for reproductive health. This is the position of the product. And foremost, of course, is it is an antioxidant. Antioxidant. Medyo anemic yata ito. Hindi ito, kulang ito sa flavonoid. Pwede bang bigyan ako ng sharp, so that I can give you. Okay, many times we have heard about antioxidant. But do you really know what is antioxidant? Now, I go directly into the positioning of this molecule by going into the important or prominent characteristic of this molecule. I go directly into its position as a cardiovascular molecule. So it is good for the heart, no? And then for the reproductive health, it is good. What is the center point of the reproductive health? Alam niyo na. Yeah. Pero ang ano niyan is, ang term is gonad. Hindi niyo ba alam na yung mga ovary ninyo at saka yung testis? Ang tawag niyan, the name of that is gonad. So an ovary is a gonad. A testis is a gonad. Inside the ovary is an egg. Inside the testis is a sperm cell. And the egg and the sperm in general is called gametes. Kaya ginagamit. It is gametes. So the egg and the sperm, the egg and the sperm are collective. The egg and the sperms are collectively known as gametes. Anong tawag? What is the collective term for the testis and ovary? Gonad. Inside the gonad is the gametes. And so therefore, let us now focus our attention to the cardiovascular molecule, which is actually focusing on the heart and blood vessels. I will tell you right now, I would like to tell you that the health of the individual can be measured on the health of your blood vessels. If your blood vessels are healthy, you are therefore healthy. Why? What is the rationale behind? If your blood vessel is healthy, then the flow of blood is very smooth. And remember that the blood delivers what? Oxygen and Nutrients. What are the nutrients that are to be distributed by the blood? Sugar, glucose, amino acids, lipids. There are three kinds of lipids: fats, oil, and cholesterol. What is the difference between a fat and an oil? Aside from spelling. Do you know the difference between a fat and an oil? Wala. Sirit? A fat is a saturated fatty acid, while an oil is unsaturated. A fat is solid at room temperature, while an oil is liquid at room temperature. Which do you think is good, fat or oil? Oil is better, like olive oil. You have the sesame oil. You have the soybean oil. You have the corn oil is also good. Coconut oil is not good because there are so many saturated. Actually, a little of chemistry. A fat is like carbon. Example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Normally, pag 16 carbon is called palmitic acid. So a palmitic acid is a fat with 16 carbons. What is the significance of the carbon? The carbon is, that's why this is, if all the carbons are occupied with hydrogen, all carbons are occupied with hydrogen, this is called a saturated, this is a fat. If all the carbons are occupied with hydrogen, all of these are fat. But if one of the carbons, there is a loss of hydrogen, you call it unsaturated fat. And unsaturated fat is called oil. That's why we are all encouraged to have an unsaturated fat because it is good for your health. So I repeat again, the health of an individual can be measured by the health of the blood vessels. Because it is the blood vessel that will actually convey or distribute the blood to all the parts of the body. The heart is just a pump. Of course, the pump is very important, but without the blood vessels, the pump is nothing. There are also two kinds of blood vessels. Do you know what are these? So this is really a biochemistry class. I will consider you as all my medical students. So that when you finish this, when you finish this lecture, I'll give you a proficiency in biochemistry.
Yes.
Okay. What are the two kinds of blood vessels? Very good student. Artery and the artery is a blood vessel that will carry the blood away from the heart. So any blood vessel that conveys the blood away from the heart is called artery. Any vessel that will bring back the blood back to the heart is veins. Now, I would like to tell you this. 65% of our blood is stored in the veins. 65%. Do you know how to compute how much blood do you have in your body? Do you know? Again, this is another biochemistry class or physiology class. Okay. When you go home, this is your assignment. You take your weigh your body weight in kilograms, and multiply it by 8%. 0.08, di ba? Ang 8% is 0.08. So supposing your weight is 60 kilograms, how many times 0.08? Pila? How much? 60 times 0.08. How much? It is ay mga bright sa math who are good in math here. 60 times 0.08. So if your weight is 60 kilograms, your blood is 4.8 liters. So you know now how to compute your blood. Okay. And take note of this. The amount of blood that will be distributed throughout your body in 1 minute is known as the cardiac output. What is it? Cardiac output. And cardiac output is a function of the heart rate times the stroke volume. What is stroke volume? Another important medical term. Stroke volume is the amount of blood ejected from the heart per beat, per pump. Stroke, what is that? Stroke volume. Stroke volume. So look at it here. Look at it here. When your heart rate, what did I say? The amount of blood that is circulated by your body in 1 minute is known as cardiac output. Kailangan, it must be at any given point in time, the amount of blood that will be distributed throughout the body must be too big. So a little bit of your physiology. What is the total amount of blood distributed throughout the body in 1 minute? 4.8. No, cardiac output. And that cardiac output must be equal to about 4.8 liters if your body weight is 60 kilograms. If you are short of that, if you are short of that, the heart is obliged automatically to pump faster in order to meet the demand. What is the demand? Cardiac output. And if the demand is not met, then you have a build-up, you have a very, very fast heart rate, then therefore you will build up also pressure that will cause now a high blood pressure. Do you know now the idea why you get high blood pressure? Okay, so that's why again, I repeat, the health of an individual can be viewed and can be measured by the status and health of its blood vessels. Okay, so heart rate. What is the normal heart rate? Normal. What is the normal heart rate? It is between 70 to 100 beats per minute. It means between 70 to 100 beats per minute. If you are, then the heart rate multiplied by the stroke volume equals your cardiac output. Now, why did I emphasize that? Because our molecule is a cardiovascular molecule that is important for the heart and the blood vessels. If there is, and this is what you are going to remember for the rest of your life, the blood vessel is like a tube. And that particular tube has a lining. And that lining is called, so our blood vessel is a double wall. Double wall. So when the blood passes there, and the lining of the blood vessel is known as endothelium. What is it? Endothelium. Wow, very bright. No, endothelium. So endothelium is a very tiny layer, or as a very slim, or a very thin layer of smooth muscles that line up the blood vessels. And the health of that, as what I've said, the health of the individual is measured by the health of the blood vessels. Therefore, the health of the individual can be viewed by the health of the endothelium. And this is what you are going to remember. Once the endothelium is damaged by what? Free radicals, acids, alkali, any substance that will destroy the cell is, you call it the free. What is a free radical? Do you know the meaning of free radical? Or absent kayo nung introduce to ng maestra? Absent kayo lahat? A free radical is a molecule with unpaired electron. So yung mga taong walang partner dito, free radical kayo. Yung mga single dito are free radical. Di ba? Every place, replace, every port, report. So you are free. You bump, you connect. You bump, you connect. That's why the free radical is dangerous. Because once the free radical is very abundant in the blood vessel, if the free radicals are very abundant in the blood vessel, what will happen? The lining of the endothelium will be damaged. Kung ba magasgas, it will be damaged. It will be deranged. And remember this in your lifetime. Once the endothelium will be damaged, you call it the necrosis. Then the cholesterol starts to deposit and bind. Dumidikit ang cholesterol. Cholesterol will decay. What is it? Will cling. When your endothelium has a damaged lining, the cholesterol will start to cling into that damaged area in an effort to cover the damage. So actually, that is an automatic response by the body. And therefore, at that time, it will now build up what we call the plaques. You have heard always about the plaques. Yes. And that is what you call atherosclerosis. Yung sa Tagalog pa, barado ang ugat. Barado na pala ang ugat, binahirapan patarot. Atherosclerosis. What is it? Kaya pinahirap yan para mahal ang bayan. Atherosclerosis, therefore, is now the beginning of the hardening of the blood vessel and the clot. Cholesterol after cholesterol will bind into the endothelium, and the cholesterol will build up until it will clog your blood vessel. Now sometimes, because our blood vessel is double wall, the blood will find its way where to go. Sometimes it passes in between. That will cause what we call aneurysm. So do you know now what aneurysm is? Yes! Ang dami nyo nang nalaman, bayaran nyo ako mamaya. Okay, but why did I bring that issue here? Because of the word free radical and because of the word antioxidant. Okay, let's have another chemistry, a little of chemistry. What do you mean by oxidant? When we have the erase the black word. Do you know the meaning of antioxidant? Or do you, first of all, in order for us to understand what is an antioxidant, let us try to understand what is oxidation. A little of chemistry or absent pa rin kayo. Anong ibig sabihin? What is the meaning of oxidation? Oxidation. Because from here, we will know the antioxidant. Oxidation. And dito natin nakita yung, so kung word na antioxidant, antioxidation, no? Diyan kinuha yung word na antioxidant. I mentioned this very emphatically because this is the center point of the molecule we're about to reveal tonight. Okay, what is an oxidation in your chemistry? Absent pa kayo? All atoms are always in pair in nature. That's why it is very natural for a woman to marry a man or a man marry a woman. Because it is already the design of God that everything in the atoms of your molecule is paired na mayroong kapartner. So the meaning of oxidation is, and these are called pair of electrons. All atoms have pairs. For example, carbon. Carbon has 6 protons and 6 electrons. So 6 protons is positive, 6 electrons is negative. So 6 minus 6 equals 0. Kaya ang molecule at a ground level is neutral. A person that is neutral is at zero charge. Okay. The meaning of oxidation is loss of electron. So, yung, for example, yung mayroon dito, for example, may molecule dito ang kanyang partner, of course, electron with proton, no? So, if the electron is lost, then what happened to this? This is an A radical. This is now a free radical. Any molecule that is lost its electron is a free radical. Now, the opposite of oxidation is reduction. Ito yung something wrong sa chemistry. A reduction is a process wherein you gain the electron. So if you have here a molecule that is oxidized, kulang siya ng electron, it lacks 1 electron. Then if it gains electron, then what will happen? It will be reduced. Ito yung baliktad. If you have added, it's supposed to be naka-gain ka. But the term in chemistry for that is reduction. So any molecule that has gained an electron is a reduced molecule. Now a free radical is a molecule that lost its electron. And a molecule that will supply the electron are the reduced molecule because mayroon siyang extra. It can donate an electron and it will become an antioxidant. Any donor of electron is an antioxidant. And the molecule that we are going to introduce to you is actually an electron, a very rich electron donor. Do you know what is aromatic? You're also absent. The word aroma. Diba aromatic? So mabango. That's why the molecule flvonol is an aromatic molecule. It has a sweet flavor. It is composed of a phenol ring. It looks like this. Okay. So this is what you call phenyl ring. Phenyl ring. And our molecule is very rich in phenyl ring. It has a phenyl ring. And that phenyl ring has an electron that is circulating. Kaya ito, the round thing that I meaning to say that there are so many electrons that are rolling around in the molecule. That's why it can be able to donate electron because it has so many electrons here. And that is the reason why the flvonol is a very strong antioxidant. What is the meaning of antioxidant? What is the meaning of antioxidant? It is a molecule that can donate electron. Where will it donate? To the free radical, so that the free radical will be neutralized. So that if the free radical is neutralized, what will happen? It will no longer be able to damage the blood vessel. If there is no damage to the blood vessel, then there is no cholesterol deposit, and there will be no atherosclerosis, and therefore it will prevent. Yeah. Did you get the idea that? Did you get the idea? That is the power of the flvonol. The flvonol is a very, very strong antioxidant. Therefore, it is. Why is it very rich in antioxidant? Because it has a phenyl ring that has so many. You call it pi electrons. In here there are pi electrons. In here pi electrons. Pi electrons circulating, pi electrons circulating, pi electrons, pi electrons, pi electrons, pi electrons, pi electrons. That's why it is very aromatic. The phenyl ring is aromatic. The electrons are easily given off because they have plenty. That is called an aromatic molecule. A flvonol is a very good aromatic molecule that can donate electrons so that it can neutralize. What does it do? It neutralizes the free radical that will prevent the deposition of cholesterol, that will prevent the formation of what's called atherosclerosis. Did you understand that? Yes. Maganda or napakaganda? That's why a flvonol is a very important cardiovascular dissipator problem. No? Because it has lots of, anong tawag? It has plenty of pi electrons that will delocalize easily and harvest all the free radicals. Okay, this is it. A soft drink is acidic. An acidic molecule is a free radical. Do you know that one bottle of soft drinks, you need to drink 33 glasses of water in order to remove the free radical? And sino ba sa atin dito ang umiinom ng 33 glasses? Who among us here drinks 33 glasses after drinking soft drinks? Wala, di ba? That's why in the long run, I will tell you, in the long run, if you're always taking soft drinks, you will build up atherosclerosis. And therefore, you need to take our product. Maganda or super ganda? Okay. Now let's start tayo sa slide so that you will we will have our slides so that you will have a better grasp. So you now have an idea of what our molecule is. It's very important for the cardiovascular health. So reproductive health. So our product is very good positioning on cardiovascular health, on reproductive health, and on antioxidation. Okay, let's now set aside the whiteboard because I have given you a fundamental idea of what it is, and then we are going to expound it as we have our slides. We have a very good set of slides that will tell us how good our product is. Okay? So what did I say? The health of the individual is measured in the health of the blood vessel. And by the way, in our body, the one that produces a nitric oxide, which is a potent vasodilator, are the endothelium. So if your endothelium is very healthy, then you are always ready to produce nitric oxide if the precursor molecule for the production of nitric oxide is available. And it is in our product because nitric oxide is derived from the amino acid L-Arginine. So if you take our product and your blood vessel is healthy, then you will be able to produce nitric oxide. What is a nitric oxide? It is a gas that is a very good vasodilator. It can dilate the blood vessel. So if your blood vessel is clogged, then it needs to be dilated so that the blood can flow. That's why the L-Arginine must be supplied so that the L-Arginine is converted into the gas called nitric oxide. Okay, let's proceed. So our product, extreme products. Next slide, please. So as we can see, this is the product of, you go to the first slide. We'll just skip this one because there's already a lecture on. Let's go direct to the Flvnol, which is actually our new product. So it is actually made from raw cacao. So cacao is the raw material. The cacao contains the flavonols, and it has also very rich in L-Arginine, and other additives to this concoction are ginseng, Gurana, Cordyceps in one concoction. But we now focus on cacao that has the flavonol and the L-Arginine. The others are additives, ginseng, Gurana, and Cordyceps. Okay, let's proceed. So a flavonol contains those raw materials. So our raw material contains a very high concentration of flavonol and L-Arginine, which are, so flavonol and L-Arginine are all positioned as a cardiovascular molecule. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, we are certified nationally, internationally. We are ISO certified. Our product is GMP with a GMP quality and so on. Next slide, please. So the main ingredient of our flavonol, or the product is, the extreme product is, it has a Acticoa flavonols, no? I already mentioned what a flavonol is. So this is the world's leading manufacturer of the quality of chocolate, which is rich in flavonol and cocoa products. In September of 2013, the European Union Commission approves the cannabis health claim, and the company received the right to use the health claim that cocoa flavonols help to maintain the elasticity of the blood vessels. So flavonol, aside from protecting the lining of the blood vessel, what is that lining called? Endothelium. So aside from protecting the endothelium, the flavonol also strengthens the elasticity of the blood vessel. Why is it important for the blood vessel to be elastic? So that if you run, there is a demand for blood. Therefore, the demand of blood calls for the pumping, forceful pumping. And the forceful pumping must demand also the elastic recoil of the blood vessel so that the blood pressure will not increase. So this is now actually the idea. The flavonols that strengthens the elasticity of the blood vessel, plus it has an L-Arginine that is converted into nitric oxide, which is a very strong vasodilator that will now cause the blood vessel to widen, so that if the blood vessel is widened, the blood pressure will go down. Okay? So the elasticity of blood vessel that contributes to the normal blood pressure, not blood flow. So the Barry Colibot was able to provide evidence that the daily intake of 200 milligrams of cocoa flavonols will actually help support the blood circulation very well by helping maintaining the elasticity of the blood vessel. Aside from elasticity of the blood vessel is also contributed by the abundance of collagen. And collagen is derived from the amino acid proline. In the presence of vitamin C, proline is converted into hydroxyproline, which is the main component of collagen, which is derived from flavonol. That's why you will notice that the blood vessel elasticity is now enhanced by the presence of flavonol, because flavonol will now increase the elasticity because of the build-up of, because in that cocoa there are also abundance of proline, which is converted to a hydroxyproline, which is the main component of collagen, which makes your blood vessel very elastic. So elastic, if your blood vessel is elastic, it can always give way for stretching so that the blood pressure will be maintained. Even if the blood will circulate faster, the blood vessel will extend, will be stretched, so that the stretching of the blood vessel prevents the occurrence of high blood pressure. Good or very good? Very good. So that is it, no? So it supports healthy blood vessel, helping to maintain the elasticity of the blood vessel. And the various impacts of this cocoa were studied in many clinical studies. Next slide, please. Okay. These studies by Barry Colibot use products made from Acticoa, which is the main component of our flavonol. Barry Colibot succeeded in maintaining up to 80% of the cocoa flavonols, which is a high-quality flavonol that would otherwise destroy, for the most part, during conventional chocolate making process. So they have made a very good process procedure that will now preserve the quality of the flavonols that is rich in pi electrons, so that it will maintain its donor power to donate electrons. Okay, next please. So these are scientific evidence. So let us be just sufficient to know that this particular product is well studied, and it has lots of clinical studies and approval in the international standardization institution. So let's next slide, please. Maintenance of normal blood pressure. So the history of the Kuna Island. The Kuna Island in Panama, the people there have very low blood pressure because of their habit of taking this cocoa. So this cocoa was very famous in Kuna Island in the Panama. Average blood pressure of the people there is 110/70, which is actually the range of normal blood pressure, even before over the ages of 65. Community population has no problem with cardiovascular diseases in Kuna Island because they are always drinking cocoa with a high quality of flavonol. The Kuna Indians who reside in an archipelago of the Caribbean coast of Panama have very low blood pressure levels, live longer than other Panamanians, and have a reduced frequency of myocardial infarction, stroke, diabetes mellitus, and cancer. There was I think a French woman, very heavy smoker, but since heavy smoker siya, pero a very heavy smoker, but she's fond of taking cocoa every day. And you know what? She reached the age of 265. So that is actually the power of cocoa. So even if you are a very good, even if you're a, smoker, the smoke has free radicals. There are thousands of free radicals that are found in smoke. But if you are going to take regularly the flavonols that are high quality, it will scavenge. What will happen to the free radicals in the smoke? Mawala. It will be gone. So free radicals will be neutralized. That's why that French woman, still, even if she is a very heavy smoker, but because she is also a heavy drinker of cocoa, she lived up to 265 years. Do you want to live that long? Then take our product. Okay, that is the history of the Indians there. History of the Kuna Island. Next slide, please. Okay, the National Library of Medicine has also attested to that, no? So because it has the flavonols, the Kuna cocoa consumption, and the nitric oxide production, because that cocoa that we have is very rich in the amino acid L-Arginine. By the way, L-Arginine is an essential amino acid for infants and rats. Are you a rat? So if you're a rat and you're an infant, arginine is essential. And the meaning of essential is it cannot be produced by our body. When you are already adult, we already have our L-Arginine. But that L-Arginine is not sufficient because it is being utilized by the body in other forms. And therefore, we need to have a gigantic amount or humongous amount of L-Arginine in order to maintain the health of our endothelium. Did you get that? Yes. So the Kuna people have a very high consumption of cocoa and nitric oxide, which is derived from what amino acid? L-Arginine. Kasi L-Arginine is the natural form of amino acid, because the not natural form is the D form. What we have is the L-Arginine, and that is found in nature, and that is contained in our cocoa, Acticoa raw material. Next slide, please. Huh? Nitric oxide video? Okay, nitric oxide is
nitric oxide is
a
naturally made
video
in our
showing the
bodies.
effect of nitric oxide.
A Nobel Prize was
Nitric
awarded for
oxide
the discovery that nitric oxide
produced
plays
by
a
the
significant role in the
endothelium when
cardiovascular
there
system.
is an increase
This discovery
in
revealed
pressure.
nitric oxide
So
as
when
a
you run,
vasodilator,
while
helping to
running,
reduce
you
blood
are now
pressure and
producing
increase
nitric
oxygen
oxide
in the
because
blood.
the
Produced by the lining of the blood
for the
vessels,
production
known
of
as the
nitric oxide is the
endothelium,
increase
nitric
in
oxide
flow
acts
and
as a
increase
messenger
in blood
molecule,
pressure.
telling blood
So
vessels to
when there is an
widen or
increase in blood
dilate
pressure, there is
and
now the
contract or
production of
relax,
nitric
like an
oxide.
elastic
Okay,
band.
so it is produced by the
With enough
endothelium.
nitric oxide, blood
So
vessels
it is
can
produced by the
relax and
cells
widen,
surrounding the blood
allowing
vessel.
blood to
No?
flow from and
This
to
one,
the heart.
these are the endothelial cells.
As we age, we
This one,
produce
this
less
one is
nitric
the
oxide.
cells.
This can cause the cardiovascular system to become less elastic, which can reduce the flow of oxygenated blood to vital
There are
organs. This is the reason
three
it's
or
important
four
to have an
important
active
sites
lifestyle
production
and a
of
diet that's
oxide.
rich
What
in
are these?
nitrates, which
Endothelium
bioconvert to
in the blood
nitric
vessel,
oxide
both
and may help
arteries and
maintain normal
veins,
blood pressure levels
the
and a
brain,
healthy
and
cardiovascular system.
the brain and the white blood cells. That's why if there is an excitement of sexual excitement, when you see it in your eyes or you feel it, your brain will produce nitric oxide, and immediately the penis of the male will now erect because of nitric oxide in just a split second. Imagine ka, from the brain, it goes directly to the penis. So in just few seconds, because the nitric oxide can travel fast, because nitric oxide can penetrate into the membrane of the cells, because nitric oxide is like a fat molecule. It can cross the membrane very easily like water. Okay, so that is the next slide, please. So you see the nitric oxide is very good for cardio, respiratory, the cell proliferation, and immune system, gastrointestinal tract, the central nervous system, as what I've said, in the brain, and in the sexual organs. So it's called the reproductive health. Next slide, please. So this is now this is the blood vessels in the blood. The nitric oxide will dilate the blood vessel. So if this is your blood vessel that is clogged, then it will be dilated and allow the blood to flow. Even if there are some plaques here, it will still be able to dilate the blood vessel and able to let the blood flow 100%. No? It reduces oxidation of LDL cholesterol, and actually remember that the attachment of the fat and cholesterol into the blood vessel wall is because the fat and the cholesterol is oxidized. Once it is oxidized, then it is a free radical, then it will easily attach to the wall. That is the reason why. But that particular reaction is actually the natural mechanism of our body in an effort to cover the damage. So that is just natural. The binding of the cholesterol to the damaged area is the effort of your body to protect. But that particular effort will result to the atherosclerosis, as what I have mentioned earlier. So nitric oxide will reduce the monocyte stickiness and prevents the formation of plaques, and of course the clumping. It produces the multiplication of the smooth muscles during the hardening of the blood vessel, because after the damaged blood vessel will build up cholesterol, they will now build up new cells, and that will now cause the hardening of the blood vessel, and that makes your blood vessel brittle, and of course it will be more clumped now because of the multiplication of the muscles surrounding the blood vessels. The muscles surrounding the blood vessels are known as smooth muscles. What are those? Smooth muscles. There are three types of muscles: skeletal muscles that are attached to the skeleton. The smooth muscles are the ones you can find in the linings of the blood vessel. The smooth muscle is found in our gastrointestinal tract, the visceral organs, and the cardiac muscle. So the smooth muscle, the skeletal muscle, and the cardiac muscle. So what will happen? The nitric oxide will reduce the multiplication of the smooth muscle in the lining, so that it will prevent the hardening of your blood vessel. Did you see the importance of nitric oxide? It will prevent the hardening of the blood vessel and improve the elasticity of your blood vessel. Next slide, please. So endothelial production of nitric oxide declines with age. As we age, kung tatanda na tayo, as we age, the nitric oxide production is reduced. So the more we age, the more we need flavonols, the more we need antioxidant. The more we need L-Arginine in order to supplement our body and produce the What are those three sites that are very good producer of nitric oxide? The brain, the blood vessels, and the white blood cells. I repeat, there are three sites in our body that is easily producing nitric oxide: our brain, our blood vessels, the endothelium, and the white blood cells. So the white blood cells can produce nitric oxide. And the effect of nitric oxide by the white blood cell is to destroy the virus. That's why it is also called antiviral. Good or very good? Very good. So with L-Arginine and with Flvnol, you will be free from viral infection. Palakpakan natin yan. So, endothelial production, so the endothelium lining of the blood vessel are the ones producing the nitric oxide. Why do we need flavonols? Because as we age, there is a great reduction of nitric oxide. The younger you are, the more, that's why bihira, you cannot find hypertension, bihira lang siguro sa mga bata. Why? Because children or infants are still very young and their endothelium is very healthy, and therefore they are easily able to produce nitric oxide that will keep their blood vessel very healthy. What did I say? The health of an individual can be measured by the health of the endothelium of the blood vessels. Repeat that again. The health of the individual can be measured by the health of the endothelium of the blood vessels. So that is it, no? So let us prevent aging. How do we prevent aging? Let us take our flavonols. Did you see now the importance of flavonols? Yes. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So the benefits of Acticoa is for vasodilation and activation of the production of nitric oxide in our blood. So the nitric oxide is, by the way, nitric oxide is a gas. It's nitric oxide, nitric NO. It's a free radical. By the way, that's why you will notice there are always pair of electrons, no? A nitric oxide has an extra electron. That's why it's called free. It's called nitric oxide is a free radical. So this is a free radical also, but it is a very good molecule. Nitric oxide is NO. One atom of nitrogen and one atom of oxygen. By the way, sige. The binding capacity of oxygen is 3. So if you have a nitrogen, kaya ng nitrogen mag-bind ng 3 sides. The binding capacity of oxygen is 2. So if this is your nitric oxide, you have oxygen 1, 2, nitrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they have extra. So that's why it is a free radical. So a nitric oxide is also a free radical. But this is a friendly free radical because this is a vasodilator. So that's why the nitric oxide has to be coupled with flavonols. So the flavonols will actually counter the free radical. As what we mentioned, a free radical is a very dangerous molecule. But this is now counteracted upon. So with nitric oxide in the L-Arginine plus the flavonol, this will cancel out and it will go back to 0. 1 minus 1 plus 1 equals 0. So nitric oxide is a free radical because that is the action mechanism of the nitric oxide to dilate blood vessel. But the free radical activity of nitric oxide is neutralized by the presence of flavonols. Why? The flavonols has lots of pi electrons. Flavonols is very rich in pi electrons that can donate electron easily to anybody that are unpaired. So if you are a free radical, then you need to have a partner in order to become neutral. Okay? Okay, next slide please. Francis, pakitanggal ito. So, marami na ba kayo natutunan? Yes. Okay, next slide please. Francis, next slide. Francis, next slide. Okay. Conclusion: the healthy humans in a flavonoid-rich cocoa induce vasodilation via activation of the nitric oxide system, providing the nitric oxide molecule and the flavonoid-rich foods that will now neutralize the nitric oxide and induce against the coronary formation of the coronary atherosclerosis. Ganyan kasindi yung. That's how effective our product is. Next slide, please. So the benefits of the cocoa powder: improve cognitive health. It improves your attention. So because it works in the brain, working memory and general cognition. It may also restore cognitive performance in people with sleep loss. So this will prevent people from going into Alzheimer's. So it prevents the occurrence of Alzheimer's and of course the damage due to sleep loss. Next please. So with the Acticoa, you have a stronger immune system. The cocoa powder contains lots of iron, zinc, and selenium. Selenium is good for the health of the blood vessel. Zinc is good for the gene induction, and it is very important in the gene expression together with. So our product with the zinc, it will together with Imorigin, it will now help express the genes. Your characteristics will now be rightly expressed because of the presence of zinc. And you know, iron is very important in the formation of blood. And then it will actually improve, give your immune system the boost. Next slide, please. So it lessens the side effects of radiation therapy. Because radiation therapy, radiation is a free radical, di ba? So if you have taken some radiation therapy, then your flavonol is the most important neutralizing agent after radiation therapy. So we can actually recommend our product for people that has taken radiation therapy because the flavonols will now scavenge all the free radicals that is given off by radiation. Okay. Better muscle and nerve function. Magnesium is also present in the cocoa and it's important for regulating muscle contraction, helping the nerve function in the neuron to neuron and neuron to muscle transmission of neurotransmitters. The mineral also magnesium helps protect the nerve and reduce the risk of neurological disorders. So just like as I've said, neurological disorders like amnesia and also Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. So people with Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease may take this particular product. So it will maintain the health of our muscles. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So cocoa, it will reduce the inflammation. Cocoa powder is rich in theobromine. Why does it reduce the inflammation? Because remember that inflammation is due to the damage of the free radical. Now, since the free radical is not neutralized, then therefore it will also reduce the inflammation of the endothelium. So if you can prevent your endothelium to be inflamed, then you can prevent the formation of plaques and prevent the formation of the attachment of cholesterol and fats in the area where there is damage. So it will improve, it will actually protect our body from heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. Because a person with diabetes are those people that has cellulitis, and therefore they will damage the blood vessel and cause also the stickiness of the blood, and therefore it will increase the blood pressure and damage further the tissues and organs affected by the lack of flow of the blood. Next, please. So weight loss and control. Since cocoa is rich in phytonutrients but low in fat and sugar, the calories you get from the cocoa powder will be packed with healthy chemicals. Studies have also found that cocoa helps to regulate energy and use metabolism while also increasing the feelings of fullness. In other words, although chocolate is commonly associated with weight gain, cocoa powder will actually help to reduce the weight while providing important nutrients. So you see, providing important nutrients and improve your health. Next, please. So it is also good, the flavonols is also good for wound healing. Plenty of zinc, a mineral that is useful for healing the wounds. That's why our fulvic mineral is also good for wound healing. You take your flavonol, you take your fulvic mineral, it will be a good tandem or synergy to each other. Okay, lower the risk of heart disease, contains polyphenols, antioxidant that help or it will prevent the cholesterol from depositing into the wall of the blood vessel and the blood sugar level and reduce the risk of heart disease. So in short, a flavonol will prevent the occurrence of cardiovascular diseases. Next, please. So it is also flavonol fermentation influences also the skin conditions of the photo-age women. So for those people, especially people working in the field or people are exposed to sunlight, must take really the product in order for you so that the free radical will neutralize the effect of, you see, how many percent is water in our body? 70%. Water is H2O. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. When sunlight is it will strike water, it will produce an OH radical and an H radical. So therefore, when you are exposed to sunlight, your body will produce free radical, natural, from water. So the water in your body will be converted to OH radical and another OH radical. OH plus another OH radical, it will become H2O2. And H2O2 is agua oxinada. Imagine, if you are exposed to sunlight, you are producing a lot of agua oxinada. That's why you need to have your antioxidant. That's why all of us, especially we are exposed to in the field, we need to take our antioxidant in order to prevent the occurrence of H2. So do not drink water that is exposed to sunlight. There are plenty already of free radicals. So if your bottle of water is exposed to sunlight, do not drink that anymore, because that has already lots of hydrogen. What is abundant in water that is exposed to sunlight? Hydrogen. O mura kang nag-inom og agua oxinada. If you are drinking a water that is exposed to sunlight, as if you are drinking a bottle of agua oxinada. So if you drink agua oxinada, mambuto imong cells. Magbula-bula, no? So hence the importance of our flavonol. Our flavonol will now scavenge the free radical that is formed because of the formation of hydrogen peroxide because of the effect of sunlight. So never overexpose yourself to sunlight. Our maximum exposure of sunlight in a day should be only 30 minutes. So if you go beyond that, then at the end of the day, you have lots of agua oxinada already in your body. And therefore, what is the preparation of our flavonol ba? Tablet? Powder. So, one sachet. Sublingual sachet. So how do you drink the flavonol? You mix it with water? No. So at the end of the day, when you are exposed to sunlight, you can take about 3 sachets or 1 sachet. 1 sachet for the whole day. So, magkano ba yan? Anyway, that is the importance of it, no? So at the end of the day, you have lots already of free radicals in your body. Whether you like it or not, whether you are a healthy individual, you are still subject for the production of H2O2. Why? Where does H2O2 come from? When water is hit by the sunlight, it is split into OH radical and H radical. And H radical is acid. So imagine ka, that's why at the end of the day, when you are so busy, you're already very stressful, plus we have already hydrogen peroxide, and then you have your acid pa. With lots of H plus, you have lots of acid, and acid is a free radical. 1 bottle of soft drink will take you about 33 glasses of water. And exposure to sunlight would require about 1 gallon of water in order to deactivate the acid from that water. So it is very, very, very important. So do not overexpose yourself to sunlight, because if you expose to sunlight, what will happen? You create agua oxidada and acid. So agua oxidada and acid needs the power of the flavonols in order to neutralize and prevent the occurrence of atherosclerosis. Next slide, please. Next slide. So the Acticoa powder, which is actually the main component of our product. Next slide, please. Next slide. So it also prevent the occurrence of the enlargement of the prostate. By the way, the enlargement of the prostate is actually due to undersex and oversex. Don't you know that you have also equivalent? Women have also equivalent to prostate. So therefore, women are also subjected to that. If you have prostatitis, it is due to oversex or undersex. So dalawa lang yan. Oversex. Which side are you? Oversex or undersex? Whether you are under or oversex, you need a flvonol. Good or very good? Okay, next slide, please. Francis, next slide. Okay, so by the way, 70% of the semen kada bang magawa sa lalaki during ejaculation is a fluid coming from the prostate gland. And in order to prevent the occurrence of prostate cancer, a man should ejaculate 20 times in a month, at least. 20 times a month, almost daily ang sex activity. 21 times dapat mag-ejaculate ang lalaki, no less than that, because if you are under that, then you are more likely to develop prostate cancer. So aside from, remember, how could you ejaculate if your penis cannot erect?
Flvnol Men, Doc.
You need flvonol.
Flvnol Men.
Yeah, Flvnol Men. Okay? Did you get the importance now?
Yes.
Okay, next slide, please. So there are other components of the flvonol.
Part 3 to, erectile dysfunction.
Next, sige, huwag na lang.
Erectile dysfunction.
So the flvonol, our product, is compared to Viagra. The only problem with Viagra is this: it will enlarge the nitric oxide will actually dilate the blood vessel in the cavernous tissue of the penis. So i-dilate niya so that when there is excitation, the blood will flow there and it will harden the penis. The problem with Viagra is that it will dilate the blood vessel, but it will lock the blood vessel. So bisag patay na, straight pa rin. Kaya di ba may iba dyan na heart attack nagtatalik yung the man have intercourse with the woman, but during the process there is because during the erection, by the way, erection is actually a result of the hypertension. So erection is erection. So high blood pressure is requirement for the erection of the penis. However, the Viagra will lock the blood vessel. So the heart attack na, the blood vessel was locked, and therefore, even if the person is dead, the penis is still standing. That is the effect of Viagra. But for our Flvnol, it is actually a very safe one because it dilates the blood vessel and it makes the blood enter into the cavernous tissue of the penis so that the penis will harden. Because the one that makes the penis harden is the blood. That's why if the person is young, the harder is the erection. So what happened is our Flvnol will now provide the elasticity of the blood vessel, and of course the nitric oxide will provide the dilation of the blood vessel that will allow the blood to flow. So during the flow of the blood, there will be a smooth blood flow because the endothelium of the blood vessel is healthy. So it was found out that Acticoa Cocoa lowers the insulin and insulin resistance. Therefore, it will prevent the occurrence of diabetes, and the body gets better at pulling dangerous sugar from the body, and it will actually prevent the person to develop diabetes. With high in Flvnol, the good circulation of the blood will go the key to the heart and brain, and diabetes will be prevented, and the endothelial blood flow will actually, the endothelium will be healthy so that there will be a smooth flow of the blood vessel that will prevent the rouleau formation of the blood. Next, please. Next, please. Francis. So there are other ingredients. So the other ingredients of the Flvnol for men is the Acticoa, which is Flvnol, the L-Arginine, the Ginseng, Gurana and Cordyceps. So let's now tackle the Ginseng. So L-Arginine is converted into nitric oxide in the endothelium, in the brain, and in the remember this, immune system. There are 3 types of enzymes that will convert L-Arginine into nitric oxide. The calcium dependent is nitric oxide synthase 1 and nitric oxide synthase 3. The nitric oxide synthase 1 is found in the endothelium of the blood vessel, while the nitric oxide that is present in the brain is actually nitric oxide synthase 3. It requires calcium. So take note of this. So taking Flvnol for men should also require calcium. So you need your fulvic mineral, because the conversion of L-Arginine into nitric oxide requires the calcium ion, because calcium ion activates the nitric oxide synthase 1 and 3. And synthase 2 is independent, and synthase 2 is found in the white blood cells. So only those found in the blood vessel as well as in the brain requires calcium. So calcium is very important in the conversion of L-Arginine into nitric oxide. So necessary for L-Arginine is necessary for the nitric oxide because it is the raw material signaling molecule that is needed for lots of biology functions, including blood flow and the kidney function, mitochondria, and other cellular communications, as the case may be. Next slide, please. So the benefits of L-Arginine is, we have already emphasized it, for the blood circulation, to prevent the formation of atherosclerosis, and of course the smooth flow of the blood vessel, and prevents the inflammation. Arginine for a healthy blood pressure level, and arginine for improved sexual because arginine can really cause erection of the penis. There are now in the market available injectable nitric oxide. So before you have a coitus, coitus is the term for sexual intercourse. What is the term for sexual intercourse? Coitus. So before doing coitus, you should inject nitric oxide. But why do you have but why go into the injection of nitric oxide when you have your Flvnol? Good or very good? Palapakan natin yan. So, improve sexual power and arginine control the stress of type 2 diabetes. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Francis. Okay, ginseng, vitality. Ginseng will improve vitality, memory, energy, prevents insulin, health, and alertness, the calmness, the focus, and of course, the production of testosterone provided by the ginseng, which is added into the concoction of this particular product. Next slide, please. Next slide. Guarana. Guarana is a vine from maple family originating from Brazil, has a long been believed to trigger the male sex drive. So aphrodisiac. So aside from erection, you still have the drive for sex. Include theobromine, tannins, saponins, catechins. The catechins are very rich in the green tea. So green tea is also a good source of catechins. Saponins and tannins are found in guarana. Guarana will improve the ability to learn and remember. So it's really good for. Do you know that people who are doing regular sexual activity is more brilliant than the others?
Yes.
Makapabright ang sex. Yes. Sex, doing coitus can actually improve your memory power. And added to that is guarana, no? So it will prevent aging and other features that will prevent your skin to sag. So it will prevent, why? Because as I have said, the sagging of our skin is due to lack of collagen, and it is provided for in the action of Flvnol. Therefore, prevent your aging process or the sagging of your skin or the wrinkling of your skin using the Flvnols. Next slide, please. So guarana also contains to inhibit and kill harmful bacteria. So ano ganito? Nitric oxide is antioxidant and also antiviral. Therefore, the product with L-Arginine can produce nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is antiviral. So against COVID na siya. So the more you take this, the more you are protected from harmful virus, antiviral, and also anti-E. coli and anti-Streptococcus mutans. Protect the AIDS-related eye disorders. So with a very huge or a wide range of activity that is given by Flvnol, together in synergy with our origin, then you have a perfect match for all our products. Origin plus Flvnol is actually a site, is now a circle, is now in synergy. So I would like to tell you, this product is also a miracle product because it will now connect the activity of the nucleotides in our central dogma of life. It will connect them. The total health is attained by adding Flvnol into our regimen. Thank you very much and good evening. Did you learn anything?
Thank you, Dr. Oclarit. Marami ba kayo natutunan? Yes! Nag-Flvnol na ba kayo? Yes! Hindi pa? Parang hindi kami. Yung mga lalaki dyan, naka-21 na mo yun.
Naka-21 ejaculations na kayo dyan.
Yung mga lalaki.
Na-risky na ba ang goal? 21 na mention.
Sino, yung mga lalaki dyan, sino yung naka-21 na?
Kulang pa.
Alright. Let me just stress that not all cocoa are made the same. Okay? Kasi marami dyan mga fly-by-night na cocoa growers. And do you know how they dry the cocoa? Huh? They dry the cocoa ay nakalabas sa kalye, sa latag sa street. Parang nakikita yung palay, di ba? Ganun lang. Yung mga small cocoa growers, they grow it on the street. So, exposed to the natural environment. May ibon lang na ano dyan, diba? Napupuan lang ng ibon. So, it's not the same. Our cocoa comes from Barry Callebaut. Barry Callebaut has been the major manufacturer of cocoa. That they can tell you and they can actually confirm that they retain 80% of the flavonoid content. Because heat can destroy the polyphenol flavonoid. Yung mga prepared na yan, wala na. Na excessive heat, yung mga tsokolate naman na ginagawa ng pang-kape, hindi naman yan. But the thing is that Tablea, all the Tablea manufacturers, they cannot provide the same ingredient or the same percentage of flavonol as it can. As in, the flavonol that is produced by Barry Callebaut. Kaya tayo naiiba because we make the best ingredients. All right? And one of the other thing is that other thing that you have to understand is that yung sinabi ni Dr. Oclarit, yung ay nalalak sa penis, they call it priapism. Priapism, prolonged, sustained, painful erection. Tapos ka na, nakatayo pa rin, that's called priapism. It's very, very painful. No? That it warrants an emergency room visit.
So yung kaya kasi sa robots.
Oh, halos pareho yung component.
It's really dangerous.
It's the number one. The side effect of the that tuwitigas yung dila mo. Pagkat yung dila mo, and the flavonol, there's no side effect. And one of the things that you can see from Viagra is that a lot of there are patients who die from Viagra. And total sales of Viagra is $500 billion for 2019. Yeah. So, during 2017, I tried to patent the same component as Viagra for the Philippine market. Kaya lang hindi pumayag ang DTI at saka yung Department of Food and Drugs. Kasi hindi raw pwede gamitin yung pangalan na pang Pilipino. Ang product sana na i-register ko, Viagro. 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 No? Viagra, di ba? Viagro. So now, the next question is that kailan gagamitin? All right? Kailan mo gagamitin? One of the things that is essential in trying to understand the synergy of Immunogen plus flavonol is that one provides the ingredients for cellular repair. while the other frees the circulation so that the ingredients will go to where they are needed. Naintindihan nyo? So, may I announce na promo? Just briefly explaining this. Number one is that the immunogen are the components for the cellular repair. But for the cell to repair, they need the ingredients. Pag ano yung ingredients, pag hindi makarating sa cell yung ingredients, hindi mag-repair. Alright? Viagra or Flvnol frees the circulation, removes, because it's a vasodilator, removes the impingement for the circulation to be freer and be able to bring immunogen, the dietary nucleotides, to where they are needed. That is why it is better to treat both immunogen plus Flvnol. Naintindihan niyo yung synergy?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Are there any questions before Ma'am Susan announces the... May mga tanong ba? O promo daw. Ito na si Ma'am Susan. Ito na, Ma'am Susan, take out the floor.
Oh. Bibigyan na ba kayo ng certificate?
Yes.
My gosh, nag-enjoy ba kayo?
Yes.
Magaling si Dr. Oclarit?
Yes. Magaling
si Dr. Mario?
Yes.
Pwede na ako magbigay ng Certificate of Proficiency in Biochemistry. Wow! So, Doc, may tanong ako, Doc. Sa palagay mo, maganda bang combination yung Flvnol at saka yung Immune Plus, Imorgen? Very much, yes. Yes, because in our Immune Plus, there is a vitamin C. And that vitamin C is very important in converting proline to hydroxyproline that would now make your blood elastic.
Wow. Ma'am, ako ma'am. Sa akin, effective yung yung Immune Plus Flvnol. Because the Immune Plus increases the energy, ATP. But not only that, it also increases the volume of the ejaculate. So yung volume ng ejaculate pataas. Tapos hindi pa yon, kasi marami ka pang energy, pwede kang round 2, round 3, round 4, 30 rounds pwede siguro. So yung 21 times a day, 21 times a day, kaya-kaya.
Isang araw?
21 times a day.
Kota kagad ha?
Kota kagad.
Kota kagad.
Pakyaw na. Hindi, para sa akin, magandang combination kasi functional nga, wala ka namang energy. Hindi pwede, di ba? Kailangan may energy. May energy ka, functional nga, ubus ang energy mo, kailangan bumalik ang energy. So, okay siya. So, promo. You know, first, let's thank God that we had a very peaceful election. You know, God is good. And of course, you know, let's pray that to whoever the president is, that he may be guided and be enlightened so that he will serve, or he or she or whoever, the country and the people. Kasi panahon na para tayo ay umasenso. Mundo, sawag-sawa na ako na nakikita ko na tayo na lang ang kulelat. Na tayo na lang yung hindi pa umaangat. Na tayo na lang yung parang ang tatalino natin. Tayo yung pinakamatatalino, pero nasaan tayo? Lahat ng building dyan na pinapagawa, lalo ng SMDC, isang architectural design nila. Ang liit ng bintana at ang binebenta 20 square meter. Kung ako ang presidente, pagbabawal kung magbenta ng 20 square meter na kondo. Dahil may social impact, psychological impact sa isang tao na naka-occupy sa ganong kaliit na kwadradong lugar. Tama ba? Tama ba? Sa susunod na eleksyon, magkita tayo.
So dahil nakwatsera ang CEO nyo, mag-uumpisa tuloy ulit tayo ng lakwatsa sa buong mundo. Kapit-kati na ang paakong pamasyal na kasama kayo. Sino susumama? So gagawin natin lahat ng travel promo, 2 months ang duration para ma-qualify kayo. Okay? So ang unang-una natin, dati sa Wanderlust tayo sa Global, ngayon ay Travel Bonanza ng FHP Extreme. Ang una natin pupuntahan ay Bangkok. Dahil hindi ka vaccinated, pwede ka pumasok! Kahit alam ko wala, hindi kayo lahat vaccinated. Dahil malakas ang loob nyo, naka-imorogen kayo. So pwede kayong sumama sa Bangkok! At para sa kalalakihan, para magamit nila ang Flvnol. Alam nila babae. Tapos, makapag-promote rin tayo doon dahil sigurado maraming magdala kayo ng mga sample pagka sumama kayo at na-qualify kayo. Okay, Francis, ito na. FHP Extreme Travel Bonanza, Bangkok, 3 days, 2 nights. Promo will start today until July 12. 2 buwan. Madali lang yan. Ang qualification, 20,000 CD ng direct mo. 10 premium lang yan.
Yes.
Okay, kaya? Kaya?
Yes.
Ang maganda doon, kapag ikaw ay naka 20,000 CD, ang laki na rin ang kinita mo, may baon ka na. Okay? So, guys, yeah.
Nakalimutan ko yung ilagay. Na-clarify ko lang. Will this be a first 10 lang?
Sa first set lang o sa 7X pa?
Hindi yung 7 head, niluloko mo ba ako? Isa lang sa head mo, amili ka doon kung anong head. Okay? So ngayon,
Pero pwedeng one.
para ma-spoil ko yung kasama ko, ang makakasama lang sa akin yung first 10 na makukuha.
O, first 10 ha? First 10 lang yan.
Huwag kayong
First 10.
mag-alala, sigurado 5 lang ang makuqualify. Diba? Sigurado yan, 5 lang yan, okay? Walang sasama na hindi achiever. Huwag na kayong makiusap sa akin dahil hindihan ko kayo. Biglang gano'n. Ma'am, leader ako, yung downline ko nakasama ako, hindi. Ba't hindi ka na-qualify? Naintindihan nyo? Walang saling pusa. Okay? So, excited ba kayo? Yes! Okay? Tapos ang susunod natin ay Korea. 2019, we visited 10 countries, right?
Yes.
This year, after this, tuloy-tuloy na to. Okay?